if you're interested in seeing this movie, prioritize seeing it very, very soon. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait until it comes out on streaming because it is a limited release. So it's not playing everywhere. It's about three Brooklynites who are navigating love, loss, relationships, careers. It's a drama. It's a romantic drama, heavy on the drama. It is directed by Rachel Holder. The screenplay is written by Paul Zimmerman. It stars Andre Holland, who also is one of the producers. It also stars DeWanda Wise. It also stars Nicole Bahari. Special shout out to Cadence Reese, who plays the daughter of DeWanda Wise's character. She did a really good job. She had the theater going, oop, and there weren't a whole lot of us in the theater. And okay, so let me talk about the good with this movie. The good is I think it does a good job of exploring personal relationships, intimate relationships, exploring grief, exploring trying to establish connection, exploring, trying to move on, exploring, I don't know, the tentacles of the past, still having a hold on you. I think it does a good job with that. On the other hand, I think it doesn't do a good job in terms of having fully fleshed out characters. The most well-written character is DeWanda Wise's character, Nicole. The other two, Roger and Casey, are not well written. It does a good job, which impacts the relationships because one of the relationships is well done in the sense of showing what it's doing for the character, what the character is getting out of it. Basically exploring the character through the relationship, like one of the characters through the relationship. The other relationship doesn't do anything for either character. They're kind of just stand-ins for the message, which is not good. The pacing is also a problem many times in this movie. It's one of those movies that I'm calling like hyper real. Like it grounds itself in being real. These are normal characters just like you and me having a very regular, very mundane experience. It's very zoomed in on them. And so there's not much to the soundtrack. You really only hear music during transition scenes when people are talking and emoting and stuff like that. No music to help deepen the audience's connection to the characters or anything like that. I think when it's a movie like that, timing is everything. The scene cannot last too long because it's hinging solely on the chemistry between the actors. And the actors do have chemistry, but it's so real, sometimes it gets ridiculous. Like, how long can we watch two people going like, I mean, come on, man, come on, really? Huh? Like, you know what I mean? Or being silly. Like I'm feeling I'm cringing. Let's move on to the next thing. I already got what this scene is about. We're on this for too long. So the pacing was an issue. I do not like Nicole Bahari's performance at all in this movie. I think she was the weakest out of all the actors. Her facial expression, the tics, like she would go through 7 movements with her face in the span of 2 sentences. Like, there is not enough happening in the scene. There is not enough verbal exchanges happening for you to be doing so much with your face. She overacted. So those are the cons. Let's dive into the actual story between the 3 characters. Oh, before we jump to the spoilers, just know that like the movie, as you can tell by from the trailer, also tries to include some stuff about gentrification. Things are changing in their beloved city. I think that was also a weak part. I think it came off to me like they included the gentrification stuff to try to make it deeper and to try to have something besides the romantic. It's all about the romantic relationships, and they didn't do a good job with the whole gentrification bit. I'll get into that after the spoiler drop. All right, so I'm going to talk about Nicole, played by DeWanda Wise, first because she's the strongest, and I'm going to use her as the bar and talk about how the other 2 failed to meet it. DeWanda Wise's character is a grieving widow. This movie doesn't like time, which is weird because it has a bit about gentrification. So we don't know how recently she is widowed, recently enough to be impacted by it, but we don't know how recently she's widowed. We don't know how long ago Roger and Casey broke up. So is recently widowed. She's a mother now, so she's having to navigate that, being newly alone. And with her daughter, she's also studying to be a massage therapist. So she's trying to find connections. She's trying to feel human. She's trying to remember herself, and she's navigating suddenly, her the plan for her life changing. She has a very good monologue when we get closer to the climax of the movie, where she talks about how she's now answering like booty calls in the middle of the night. Now she is an empowered character. She's in this relationship because she dictates the relationship. Roger even makes a comment at one point that like, oh, it's good to see you outside, because she just wants him for what she wants him for, just the basic like human connection. And so I think most of the things I talked about at the very beginning, as far as like what this movie is exploring, is best shown through Nicole. She knows that Roger is emotionally unavailable, because if Casey said jump, he would ask how high. Now, another good thing about this movie is that like everyone is honest. Like Roger's not sneaking around. Nicole knows that what Casey is to him. She knows that they're not in a committed relationship. Everyone's cool with all that. Like very modern, like very good. Like no one's lying. So it's not a lot that we get with Nicole, but what we do get with her is very impactful and says a lot about her character, about her mental state, and why she's moving the way she's moving, and why she's making the choices that she makes. Let's move on to Roger, who is basically our principal main character. The story's about all three, but he's the main one who we start with and we're following and all that stuff. Roger is not a good character. He's not a well-developed character. I cannot tell you what he's getting out of Paul Zimmerman does not use the relationship with Nicole to teach us anything about Roger in terms of like where he's going, what he wants, where he's coming from. We know he was in the relationship with Casey. We don't know. We don't know for how long they were together, when they broke up. We know that it was Casey's decision that for why they broke up. It wasn't his choice. We don't know why they broke up. So a lot of information missing. And for a movie that is about relationships and the personal, I don't think we dug deep enough with all of these characters. The best one was Nicole. So again, Roger's not really trying to move on per se, because he's still hung up on Casey, which is fine, but it's not quite a thing for his character. He also has a job. He's a writer. And this is where the whole gentrification, like he needs to write an article, but they want him to write about Brooklyn is changing, and that's great. Brooklyn's better than ever. And he doesn't feel that because it's being gentrified. But that's about it. Like the gentrification tip, they could have shown us through Casey. So let me just jump through to Casey right now, because there's not much else to say about Roger. All of Roger's conversation with his friend, played by Roy Wood Jr., is all about these two women. It's about where he's at, who he's sleeping with, how good is it. Very shallow, very 90s and early 2000s. Casey was the character they could have used to show us how horrible and jarring gentrification is, because she owns an art studio, but they don't tell us until her last scene in like 2-3 sentences that the building, the art gallery that she owns, that building, her grandmother bought it. So it's been in her family for 3 generations. Her grandmother willed it to her, and she's been running it ever since. We don't find that out until the very end, when she decides that she's going to sell the building. The gentrification story is not personalized to any of the characters beyond Roger saying, I don't like that Brooklyn's changing. And then Casey tells us at a certain point that she's the reason why they broke up, and she knows she's messed up. But what does that mean? How is she the problem? They tie the gentrification thing with the relationships by saying that, like, you have fond memories of the past, but you move on and embrace the present and the future, because there's some good things happening there too, which I kind of feel like is an irresponsible way to present gentrification, considering what comes with gentrification. I give it a 3. I kind of want to give it a 2, to be honest, but I'll give it a 3, bordering on a 2.